focus on hitting your goals in every area of your business. Remember, the universe rewards the bold. A leader has to take the risks. Welcome to the Wealth on the Beach podcast. My name is Daniel Alonzo, and as always, I'm your host. I'm bringing you some of the greatest minds in the world. We're talking business, we're talking money, we're talking health, we're talking success. And today we have Jigme Love, and she is awesome. She's a serial entrepreneur with experience creating, growing, and managing and selling 7- and 8-figure businesses. She's helped raise over $14 million funding her current startup, CBD. It's a CBD beverage company. It's called Infused Brands, and you got to go try this drink. It's amazing. Her greatest passion is sharing her success strategies, organizational and consulting services, private business loans up to $1 million. Miss Love currently serves as president of Infused Brands, CBD beverage company that's positioning itself to be a global leader in the emerging $22 billion CBD market. It's crazy. So anyways, bottom line is she's amazing. She's great. Tell me, what's the difference between, CBD, THC? How do we figure all this stuff out, man?
Great question. Well, the main difference is THC will get you high. It has a psychoactive effect, and CBD is the wellness molecule, we say, that is isolated. Ours specifically is from the hemp plant, not the cannabis plant. So they're very, very different. Their similarities is that they can be derived from hemp or cannabis plants. CBD is used to treat anxiety and pain and inflammation and sleep disorders. And THC increases your appetite and gets you stoned.
Okay, so that's
the main difference.
I
Our
love
product
that.
It's a wellness water infused with CBD, and there's 0 THC in this one. But I'm all for cannabis of all kinds.
Okay, so did you come up with this idea on your own, or how did this all happen?
It kind of was one of those beautiful universe things that I'm sure you know of so well. It was a confluence of circumstances. I was in the process of selling my first business, and I actually became very passionate about coaching, leading, and forming masterminds with other entrepreneurs. So I formed one in my local city where I was from, Vancouver at the time. And I would bring in really wealthy and experienced and successful people to come speak to us other entrepreneurs that were trying to do the same, because that's what we do. And that's what we're doing here on this podcast. And one of those people was a friend and a very successful venture capitalist. And I kind of got back on his radar by inviting him to speak at my event. And he's constantly funding companies and analyzing the market and seeing what's hot. So consumers are all about CBD right now. Investors are all about CBD right now. So he was the money guy. He saw the opportunity, and he actually brought a whole team of people together, and we form a really, really good team. And I'm so grateful. So it was kind of a series of magical events really that led to it. In addition to that, I was testing CBD. I had just heard about CBD 2 years ago, and here we are with $14 million in the bank ready to go global. Like, this is amazing. But I was testing CBD, and it did help me a little bit. I had a bit of anxiety selling my first business, and I suffer from some back pain sometimes. So it definitely helped me, but I was also staying at my mom's house at the time, and it really helped her. So in my experience, CBD kind of goes where it's needed according to the individual, working with your own body and your own homeostasis. And with her, it really helped her with balanced sleep. And my mother has bipolar disorder. So anyone who's familiar with that terrible disease, it's highly influenced by your quality of sleep. So with her good quality of sleep, no bipolar episodes, happy mother-daughter relationship, I'm all in.
That's it. Well, that's awesome. And I'll tell you, you have such an amazing energy about you, and you're just so happy and positive and excited. And I love being around people like that, because it's infectious, and I think that, when you get your health right, you become that person, right? I mean, when you're tired, when you're always sleepy, when you're always, bummed out or just you have anxiety, you're not a fun person to be around. So I pay attention a lot to health. And I actually was doing some CBD gummies before I would go to bed at night. And those were amazing. And so again, this is all about health, and it's all about spirituality and trying to become the best versions of ourselves, right? I mean, that's what we're trying to get to. And so we're going to talk a lot about business and about success and all that kind of stuff. But I want to kind of take you back a little bit and go, where were you born? What did your parents do? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, the year was 1980. I was born at home in Vancouver, on the wrong side of the tracks to my amazing mother, who was a school teacher, and my father is a refugee from Tibet. So anyone who's familiar with that country and the Dalai Lama, Tibetans are living in exile. There was a communist invasion. He escaped over the Himalayan mountains and had his own journey growing up in India and eventually coming to America. My mother's from America. They met while she was doing her master's degree in English literature in Vancouver, and I was born in Vancouver. So that's my international background, and definitely no entrepreneur in the family at all, no business. And I really want to emphasize that, because so many times when I was listening to podcasts along my journey, it seemed like people were born entrepreneurs. I discovered I wanted to be an entrepreneur much later in life. So it definitely just raised in this kind of wonky, chaotic environment. And then it quickly became a single family home, or a single parent home. It was just me and my mom. And that's where I was born.
So was it, did you have challenges as a child? I mean, just you personally, was there anything? Okay. So tell me about some of those challenges, because everybody, they look at successful people like, oh, they were just born into success and they were just destined for success and whatever. So tell me about some of those challenges in your childhood.
Well, I grew up with, we were like hovering just above the lower middle income class line, above poverty. My mother was a single mom. She was a teacher, and she had bipolar disorder. So that meant my childhood was disrupted many times. It felt very unsafe, very chaotic. Sorry, I'm still not at the point where I'm fully healed from it, so I do get choked up. Like at one point, she pulled me out of kindergarten on a manic episode, flew me to India, and lost me. So like and there are more stories like that. I've been in foster care, lots of trauma. I'm sorry. I still carry it with me every day. So, but that's the reality of it. And I want everyone to know that no matter what they faced before, that they can still feel the pain and be on a wealth podcast at the same time.
Well, yeah. I mean,
you don't need to fully heal before you can go out and live your dreams. Like you are perfectly imperfect with your shadow, with your past, with your pain and your joy. And that's kind of who I am right now.
But it's so much about inspiration. It's like, people, we all have our own journeys, right? I mean, I was that little kid that, my real father, biological father, he used to tell me he's going to come pick me up. My parents were divorced when I was real younger, and I'd be sitting on the corner waiting for this guy to pick me up, and he would never come. And I'd be like, are you kidding me? I'm like a little kid, and I'm crying, and I'm thinking, does he just not want to hang out with me? Does he just not want to spend time with me? And so I'm that, we all have that journey that we go through. And, obviously yours is, pretty devastating. But the truth is that look at you now, right? You're hope and inspiration for so many people out there. And that's exciting. I mean, that's really, really exciting. So anyways, I want to know, as far as like, were you a good kid growing up? Were you a bad kid?
I was good. I was terrified. I was terrified of the world because it was very chaotic, very unpredictable. So I was extremely shy, extremely quiet. I don't think I even spoke until I was 6 or something. I used to hide under things. I was scared of my own shadow. So I became very, very good. I became a perfectionist. I tried to overcompensate by being perfect. I would literally feel like my life was in danger if I did bad in school. I put so much pressure on myself. It wasn't fun. It was not a good time. but yeah, I just want to say, like, all of these things, all these challenges in my life and in yours and in people listening, it's it's the universe or your soul calling you back to your authentic self. And the harder it is, the more of a spiritual gangster you are, and the more light you're meant to share, and the more that, yeah, you know, the universe knew you could handle and transmute into gold. And so I'm honored for my struggles. I'm grateful for them, and I bless them every day. And
I
there's
love it. I love it. I love it. Spiritual gangster. I like that, man. That
like
is
that.
so cool.
If you're listening and you're going through some, I don't know if we can swear, some ambitious
Yeah, yeah.
right
Going through
now.
some shit, man. Going through shit.
Going through that shit,
Yeah, exactly.
know that you're a spiritual badass, because you would not have called that in if you weren't capable of transforming it. And if you don't transform it this time, don't worry, there will be another test.
That's
They
it.
keep coming, and they're there to serve you. They're there to show you what you're truly made of. They're there to help you heal. They're there to help you heal your trauma, your ancestral trauma, the trauma we carry as a collective. All of these bad things or bad experiences are here to serve us. They're little trigger points. It's like, you don't, if you have a knot in your shoulder, you kind of, it hurts a bit to get it loose, but then the blood flows after. So I invite you to hurt a little bit and then flow.
That's
That's
it.
been my
And
experience.
I feel like you know, me growing up, you know, especially in business and trying to get to that next level, and I always remember when I was going through challenges, I always felt like it's just God testing me, you know, like he's just like he wants to know. Now I don't know if that's probably not accurate. I mean, I don't know if God does that, but I felt like it was a test, that it was like, you know, I don't know. Well,
Everything is a message, I believe, and
right.
there's so many perspectives you can have. So pick the one that empowers you and makes you happy.
Right, right.
And the one that empowers me and makes me happy is that everything is information, and to lean into it. If something feels good, why does this feel good? What did I do to manifest or deserve this? Oh, like, how can I do more of it? How can I help other people do the same? If this feels bad, you can go, oh, is this my stuff? Is this their stuff? Is this, am I asked, what is the universe asking of me? And by universe, I mean God, whatever you guys want to
Yeah,
call
yeah.
it. But that power, that life force power that is coursing through our veins and through our world all the time. You can tap into it, you can harness it, and it's always there to serve you, even though it doesn't look like it sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't feel like it sometimes. Sometimes you're going through the stuff and you're going, man, is this ever going to end? And then you just go, you know what? I know this is a test. I know something good is going to come from this situation that I'm going through. And you just keep barreling through. And then you wake up a few years later and you're like, oh my God, life is so much better today than it was 10 years ago, you know? And so you just you just keep fighting forward, you know? And so who was your first mentor? Like who was the first person that that you feel maybe it was a book. It could have been a book that you read. I mean, something that, you know, kind of got you to move forward a little faster.
Well, I came from that background, that chaotic childhood, lots of trauma, and trying to be really good and just get good grades and get a good education and be a good girl and get a job. So that's what I did. And I landed in the Canadian federal government in pantyhose in a cubicle.
Wow.
And it was like a thud. It was really cold there too. The capital of Canada is freezing, and the whole thing just was bad news bears. It just did not feel good at all. And I looked around and I looked at the people higher in the bureaucracy of the government, and they had bags under their eyes, and it was like the angry pantyhose brigade, and I wanted nothing of that. So I I was 25 at the time. I had just worked so hard to get this scholarship, this education, and this job, and then I immediately hated it. And I know a lot of people listening
Isn't
can
that, yeah.
probably relate.
Uh-huh.
And so I started looking outside, like moonlighting, documentary films attracted me, joining groups, just stuff to do after work to see what else was out there in the world, because this really was my first foray into the real world. And then I stumbled upon a group of entrepreneurs. It was a financial seminar, and everyone was talking about investing in stocks, which I knew nothing about, in real estate, which I knew nothing about, and being an entrepreneur, which I didn't even know what the word meant. But I walked into that room, and it was the energy. It was the spark in their eyes. It was the abundant energy, the collaborative energy, the idea that you could create something out of nothing and have it be this own creation and entity that goes forward, that spoke to my soul, and I immediately knew that that's what I wanted to do. So that was the first, and that was 25 years into life. And that was my first kind of flash. And then the very next book, the first book I picked up was Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Nice.
And
nice.
I listened to your other interview with the co-author, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I think that's and that really struck me, because that's what got me started. And here I am, many years later, talking about it on a wealth podcast.
Right,
so that's
right,
where the
right.
journey started, and it brought me here today. But definitely the number one book to get started when learning about wealth and entrepreneurship and the truth about wealth.
Right. It really is the truth. I mean, Robert and Sharon Lecter is who you're referring to. I mean, just amazing people. And I mean, the wealth of knowledge, just because, look, we're all like taught certain things, and kind of going back to even your little journey into the government and going through college and getting good grades and all this, it's like we're programmed as children to just follow this little rigid steps that you must behave, you must do as we tell you, or else. And especially growing up in Canada. I mean, come on, I have a lot of friends in Canada, but they're just very, very nice. Don't want to argue with anybody. Don't want to, ruffle any feathers or anything. And so did you kind of get what I'm saying? And
our favorite word is sorry.
Sorry, exactly.
Sorry,
exactly.
We're always apologizing and being nice, which can be good when times. And going back to what you said, that system was created during the Industrial Revolution, where little good worker bees were needed to be in line to serve, the lords of the industry, and that's outdated now. So that school and that education system was modeled for that, and we're no longer living. We're in the information world. Well, I don't even know what world we're in now. It's changing right now as we record this, which is amazing.
Is this just nuts with the mask? We got to wear masks every time. You leave the house. They want you to wear a mask even when you're running by yourself. Like, how crazy is this world today?
It's pretty crazy, but I really see it from a higher perspective, and from that perspective, it's all good. It goes back to kind of like the shadow and the light, and it's absolutely necessary to dredge up the things that aren't working in our society, in our politics, and that's what's happening right now. And it's like popping a pimple. It's not pretty, but you're gonna have really nice clear skin after. I see where this is going, and it's going in a good place. So everyone breathe easy, and oxygen is your friend. I liked fresh air and exercising with unfiltered oxygen. Personally.
I love it. Yeah, me too. All right. So you're killing it on social media right now, right? I mean, you are. And so from this little shy, scared to talk to anybody, and now you're out on the beach with selfies. I mean, how awesome is that, right? I mean, like it's a big deal, right? So I want to know, like, what is your strategy when it comes to like social media and things like that?
I think what's happening right now for people is there's an awakening of consciousness, an awakening of our soul. And when that happens, it's kind of like you have this infinite, divine, beautiful soul that wants to sing and dance and share and be silly or be brilliant or be abundant or create magic or force change or be a warrior. And then you have this personality that's been conditioned to be a good little Canadian girl or whatever. And when you come closer to integrating those two beautiful forces, because your personality and this world is here to serve us just as much as your eternal soul is. When you integrate that, you become more fearless. And I get vulnerability hangovers almost every time I post, because I'm like, oh God. But I post from my soul. I shine from my soul, and people resonate with that. And you can lead by preaching, but you can lead by example. So I like to lead by just shining and being my most authentic self. And I'm still a human being. I still mess up, but I'm out here and I'm sharing my vibrancy with the world, and social media is a great place to do that. So it's really a soul strategy.
Well, I think what you just said is very important, is that you do it and you still get the anxiety. You know, you still have the doubts. You still get fearful. You post something, you're like, oh man, you know, what are they going to think about me? What, you know, wonder if I offended somebody, or wonder if I, you know, messed up, or what if I said the wrong word or whatever. And it's like, and I love just your attitude that is, okay, well, you know, if I mess up, I mess up, but I'm just going to still be me. You know, I'm going to try to be the most authentic me that I can be. And I'm going to be true to myself. I'm going to try to be the best human being that I can possibly be. And, you know, and whoever likes me is going to like me. And if they like it, then that's great. If they don't, that's okay too. But the truth is, when you're authentic, when you feel like you want the world to see your light and you want to shine it and you want to just share your story, you know, people are attracted to that. You know, they're very, very, you kind of agree with that?
Absolutely. And what you said about, you know, that not like pleasing everyone, that's so scary. It's so, especially for women, the way we're socialized, and especially for nice Canadians,
Right,
we're
right.
not, we're not supposed to rock the boat. But that quote where I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I might just be your shot of whiskey, that's true. Because
Right.
you just want, when you shine and you align with your authentic self and you're unapologetic and you just, it gives people permission to do the same. So that is God's work right there. And if people don't resonate with it, then they're not your people, and that's totally okay.
Right. There's a lot of people in the United States and Canada. So hopefully a couple of them must, I'm just hoping that a couple of them like me. At the end of the day, a couple of them like me.
I
It's
like
all
you.
good. All right. That's good. So now
Yeah,
we're
we got one. We're
at least
50%
I got
there.
one. Yes. At least I got one. So now you're in charge of a lot of people right now. I mean, you got a company that you're growing. You got a lot of money in the bank that's going to be, put out there to, you know, there's a lot of pressure right now that you're probably feeling because you want to be successful. You want this to be a successful company. And so, what are some of the leadership ideas that you're trying to use in forming your company and growing your company?
Well, there's so many. Thank you. I love this question. I think the biggest thing you can do as a leader is to, again, fill your cup up first, invest in yourself first, invest in your own mental, spiritual, and physical health first in your life and at the beginning of your day. So I start every day with a couple hours just for me. Everything's in airplane mode, and I am earthing, I'm meditating, I'm hydrating, I'm journaling, I'm exercising, I'm definitely in nature. I fill my cup up first because I don't want to lead with bad or leaky or strained energy. So that's number one. Number two is you need to instill a vision and a mission and a kind of a beautiful painted picture, a roadmap of where this is going. Where are we going? Where are we going to be in 10 years? Who are we going to be in 5, 3, reverse engineer it and map it out and create those roadmaps and create that vision and that mission and those intentions annually, monthly, quarterly, and weekly. And you got to check in. You have to check in authentically, really see people as everyone plays a very important role, and these aren't, we're not just workers, we're human beings that share in a common mission. And if anything that this time has taught us is that, like, I love when all of a sudden I'm with my teammates and I see their kids pulling on their shirt, and like that would never happen in the boardroom, but it shows the humanity. So to really embrace and honor the beautiful human beings sitting in front of you and see them as whole, that I think that they feel that too. So to really see the true authentic like the namaste, like the God in me honors the God in you, to really have that gratitude that this person is providing skills and time and effort towards the mission. So those are a couple.
I think it's almost like you just really believe in the power of relationships too. I mean, it seems to me that, once you build a relationship, you can really pour into these people and really help them get what they need to get out of this mission and this journey that they're going on with you, because they're trusting you. I tell people all the time, I mean, when you're a leader, you got to really be on your game. I mean, you really have to step up to the plate because, you know, there's a lot of people that are relying on you. You know, they're trusting you that you're going to come through with your word. You know, you're going to come through with your time and of course your vision. So does that make sense?
Absolutely. Another thing I'd like to say is there are so many different kinds of leaders, and to embrace the kind of leader you are, sometimes you'll have to put on different hats to kind of adjust who you authentically are in order to get your point across. But to really do a lot of self-knowledge, there's so many tools like the Myers-Briggs, Strengths Finder. I really like Human Design, it's more esoteric, but many different tools. So the self-knowledge of knowing what kind of person you are will teach you what kind of leader you are, and then you can build around that. So for example, I'm very visionary and relational and collaborative, but I'm not a taskmaster. I can set out a framework and I can set out KPIs and goals and everything, but like I'm not a nitpicking taskmaster. But that is important sometimes to get the can kicking forward every single day. So maybe have someone with that kind of pitta masculine drive energy on your team as well. So build around not your weaknesses, but you'll have strengths in areas that you're strong and areas that you kind of need someone to be their strength in, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what a team's all about, right? Some people are going to step up to the plate and help with things that maybe other people can't do. So I think that's well said. And so what would you say is one of the best health ideas? Okay. And this is your time to maybe talk to us a little more about your drink and everything. But you know, what's a health thing that you believe in?
I believe in following your intuition and really tap, because your body knows best. So listening to that and kind of it's spiritual in a way. For example, I've really let myself play and not have strict rules for the last month. And now as I'm gearing into September, I'm feeling that I need to cut out like maybe the fried foods and the margaritas that I've been enjoying, and have a more strict plan. So self-care and self-health and regulating your health is fluid. It's for what you need at the time and where you are in your life and what's going on around you. Like I really needed, it's a bit stressful, this world. So I really needed to let my playful nature come out in the past few weeks. And that's what I've been doing. And now I'm gearing up for another push phase where it's going to be way more diligent on the routine, like absolutely no alcohol, like way less partying and socializing, although that can actually be a form of self-care. So I say that it's fluid, definitely. And then the standard things like you've got to move your body, you got to tap into your higher self or your God or whatever. You have to have that spiritual connection. Otherwise you're just kind of bumping around in the world and it's not fun and you're not aligned. And you definitely stay hydrated, and I avoid pharmaceuticals. That's why I love CBD so much. So anything that comes from plants. Food is your medicine. Oxygen is a great thing. Don't let the man tell you it isn't.
I love it.
So fill the lungs with air.
Me and you are going to get along really, really good, because you probably know by my social media I'm not a big fan of the masks at all. So,
well,
yeah,
I'm just not a big fan of inducing so much fear into society, and that's kind of what I see that doing. Of course, I will honor rules and be respectful, and it's not my fight to fight the whole mask, no mask thing. I do have an opinion, but I'm not going to throw down in that battle. There's other ones that I prefer to throw down in.
You're gonna choose your battles wisely. That's all. That's well said. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
There's enough of us out there that are fighting for you. Okay, there's enough of us out there. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
So no, but I really think that, like, because I get what you were saying, because I mean, I've been traveling for the last couple of weeks. Went out to Utah, and I went to Vegas, and I fished in Alaska. I went deep sea fishing in Alaska last week. And so I've been kind of traveling. And so I get what you're saying, because, you know, and I believe in, some people are against this, but I believe in weighing yourself often. I know some people are like, they just want to do what they're doing, but I believe in that because I feel like that allows me to kind of go, all right, am I a little off track? Because I know, not that I want to be this, bodybuilder guy or anything like that, but I know what my body feels best at. Like I know about the weight, I know kind of the metrics of my body, and I know when I'm feeling my best, right? And so I got back from, of course, lots and lots of drinking. I mean, the most amazing food of my life. I mean, this is Craig, Alaska, and like a little lodge, and it was 5-star dining, like unbelievable. Like we fished all day and we ate like kings, man. And so, of course, right, I come back, my body doesn't feel that, as great as it usually does. And so but I get what you're saying. Like sometimes you just got to play and just enjoy it. Like I didn't get on any scale for, when I was out there, but, I got back, I said, okay, this is what I need to do. I need to get back focused. I need to, I can't be drinking every day. And over there, these guys, they like to drink over there like crazy people. And so I'm like, I can't be drinking no more. And I'm just going to just chill. But I get what you're saying. So that was really, really well said. Why, you were talking about why, and I think you're frozen on me a little bit. So when we talk about money, what's that? So when we talk about, oh my goodness, what the heck? Okay. We're messing up all kinds of things here, man. So, okay. So anyways, we got all kinds of technical difficulties here. We're having fun. We're talking business and health and money and success. And so let's talk about wealth. Like, what is your definition of wealth?
My definition of wealth is when your passive income exceeds your lifestyle needs. So that means you are not working for your money. Your money is working for you. It's either coming in lump sums when you flip a business or real estate or sell out an investment, or it's coming in monthly residual income from stocks or real estate or businesses that run automatically. So true wealth and financial freedom is when everything's just kind of flowing on, firing on all cylinders, and you can be doing whatever you want and it is covering your needs. So if you live in a van and you have passive income of $500 a month and your needs are covered, that's wealth. You're not working for your money. So that's my definition of wealth, and I think that's really important for people to know. Because as you plan your life and your activities, that's a good thing to keep in mind for the future and for your future financial security. Like that is my retirement plan. I don't have traditional retirement plans. I'm taking care of myself with those types of investments and that type of thing.
And so what, because there's people out there listening right now, because you are in a little bit of a different situation because you are part of a company that eventually you'll either run forever or you'll sell it or whatever. And that's a little bit of a different, way of doing things, for the average person though, that maybe is at a job and just kind of working 9 to 5, say a single mom or something like that. Like what is, what should she be focused on?
I'm a big fan of the side hustle, and I'm a big fan of doing a side hustle that will pay off for your future. So if you need to support your family with a traditional job, there is no shame in that game. That's where 90% of the population is, and it's good, and you don't need to be resentful of that. You can look at that job and your income from that job as your investor. And then I would say either intern for free with someone who has what you want, so you can learn their skills and their way of being and their way of doing and how they do it. And even though you're not making money from it, you're getting priceless education. Or start a side hustle, start a little Etsy boutique, start anything that resonates with you. If day trading speaks to you, go for that. If you're passionate about making masks, go for that. Look and take a look around at what the market is demanding right now, and see where there's a fit with what you personally love and resonate with. So many people go out and be like, I'm going to start a thing, and maybe there's not a market for it at the time. So really just do your research, see what the the consumers are wanting, what the investors are wanting, and see what you want and what makes you happy and what lights you up, and then start something and start today. I love a good side hustle.
That's awesome.
In addition to that, we're actually, our company has opened up a pre-IPO fundraising to anyone in America that can invest in my company before we go public in a year or two. So that there are opportunities like that available. Just start moonlighting and researching and getting in the room virtually or in IRL in real life to associate with people that have what you desire.
Oh, I love that. Great stuff. Great stuff. And so, when you, if you were to win, $10 million, $100 million, what would that ideal life look like for you?
This is amazing because I really and I'm not bragging, I truly feel like I am living my ideal life. And I was actually talking about this over dinner last night. I'd be doing exactly what I'm doing. So that's when you know you're on track. I would be creating, I would be playing in the sun with my dog. I would be being a weirdo, dancing and singing and skipping on the beach like I do. I would be doing passion projects. I would be mentoring people. I would be talking about things like this. I would be doing the exact same thing. So it's really important to know that it's it's so cliche, but it's not the destination, it's today. If you think you want $1 million to be happy, you can actually, like life hack, you can actually be happy today by choosing to, and that's a much better state to go out and pursue that $1 million and create it. And it's all about being present while aiming for your goals in the future, but just being good with where you are today. So I'd be doing this.
Now do you think
bigger?
Yeah, no, I mean, but it's those kind of things, right? You'd have a bigger house maybe, but it's like, I do want to, just say that, because a lot of people, when they hear that, sometimes they just settle. Do you know what I mean? Mm. So kind of like, what's the other angle that you can remind people? Because I get it. It sounds good. It sounds really good. Like, just be happy with where you're at, just be zen and just enjoy life where you're at. But the truth is, I believe, and then I'm going to say this and then you can kind of comment on it, but I believe that progress equals happiness. And what I mean by that is that, like, a lot of people are depressed on drugs, on pharmaceuticals, on, like they're depressed people because they're not making progress. So if we say to people, just be happy with where you're at, they might be happy for a day. I was happy fishing last week, you know what I mean? But doesn't mean I would be happy fishing this week, right? Because that's not really getting me towards my goals and dreams, right? So how do you respond to that?
There are a few kind of terms and words that come to mind. One is blissipline. I believe it was Vishen Lakhiani, who I really, really love, that coined that term. And that is being disciplined and not grinding, but moving forward towards your goals while being in a state of bliss. So you're happy in the now, but you're headed in forward motion with discipline and with structure and with a little roadmap, but happy every step of the way. It's not like, oh, when I IPO, I'm going to be happy, or, oh, when I do this, I'm going to be happy. I'm happy with where we are and what we've created, and I'm really happy about where we're going. So blissipline. And then another term is satisfied dissatisfaction. It means the same thing. So you've got to have a little bit of, oh, but there's more. That's the human condition is to want more. So we already got that, but be happy in the wanting and the striving.
So I always tell people, you got to be patiently excited. Ooh. So that way, right, we're patient enough to know that things take time. Enjoy the process. We know it's a journey, right? This life is just a journey, but you got to be excited. You got to have enthusiasm. You got to be excited about your goals, excited about your future, excited about getting better and improving and making progress, because that is what's going to give us that ultimate feeling of satisfaction and happiness. Because usually if we're making progress, we're probably helping other people. You're probably making a little bit of a dent on the earth, even if it's a tiny one. You're making a little bit of a dent. You're helping somebody else. You're making a difference. And then, you kind of look back and you go, wow, I'm kind of proud of myself, that I was telling somebody the other day, I said, I'm so proud that I didn't give up. I'm so proud that I didn't quit. I'm so proud that I didn't listen to all the naysayers and all the people that told me no, and all the people that rejected me, the people that talked bad behind my back. I'm so thankful to God that I just kept moving on no matter what. So.
And you know what? I'm so proud of you and I'm so thankful for you. And it's not a dent. It is a whole vibrational upshift. It is necessary for raising the consciousness of humanity and our collective, for each and every one of us, to our goals, our little dreams that our soul put there to help us expand and to help raise the vibration of this planet. So it's actually like a responsibility to humanity for you to shine and be your best and pursue your dreams and pursue your goals. And when you go, you give permission to the person behind you to go. When you are brave and you go in spite of your fears, you give permission for the person who is still depressed and crying and at home and just maybe turning on this podcast just with a glimmer of hope. You give them permission to shine as well. And it's more than a dent, honey. It is everything.
I love it.
It's why we're here.
It's awesome. You know what? We're going to end with that because that was so well said. Jigme, you're somebody special, no doubt about it. You've really made a difference in a lot of people's lives, and you are just beginning that great next chapter of your life and journey of your life. And so there's a lot of people right now that they're going to want to talk to you. They're going to want to DM you. They're going to want to have a conversation. You're going to have investor requests, all that kind of stuff. So how do we get a hold of you? How do we stay in connection with you?
Yeah. Well, I find it so, I'm not a coach. I'm not selling a program. I'm just a girl living her dreams, and I'm happy to talk about it. And I love that you're interviewing people, like we're just business people that have learned a few things along the way that are happy to share. You can get in touch with me with my personal website. It's jigmelove.com. I'm always on Instagram taking selfies on the beach at It's Jiggy is my handle. And my company is Infused Brands. We're also on social media. If you'd like to invest, it's www.investinfused.com, and that will be running for a little while. And I'd love for people to be on this amazing ride and rocket ship with me, and I'm super grateful for and loyal to my shareholders. So I totally invite you along for the ride if you want to be on that CBD train, and that's how you can get in touch with me.
Well, I believe in it. I think it's a great product, and just looking forward to see all of this unfold in an amazing way for you and your life. And so with that said, I want to just make sure that everybody shares this podcast, follows Jigme, make sure you stay in contact, go invest, whatever you got to do in yourself, in your life, in your future, and make sure that you get your whole mindset to a place where you're making progress always. And like I always say, dream bigger, but make sure that you go for it and do it now. God bless you. We'll see you at the top.
You at the top. Love that. Thank you so much.